Okay. Howdy friends, I'm Morgan, the Nerdy Cowgirl, and welcome back to my channel if you're already a nerdy friend, and welcome to my channel if you're new here. So today I'm talking about my May wrap-up. I'm also going to tell you my June TBR and some videos to be watching out for on my channel. Alright, so I actually read a lot in May. I was surprised. I was impressed. I was impressed with how many books that I read this month. I read 6 books this month, and I'm pretty proud of that. Alright, so the first book that I read this month was One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. It is a fantasy story about Elspeth Spindle, which is a really hard name to say. Elspeth is a girl in this world where there is magic. The magic comes from the spirit of the woods, and the people of the village or whatever, or of the town, used to go and worship the spirit of the wood. And so all the family names are trees, which is pretty cool. I like that. I like that little tidbit. And there's a mist that will, if you go into the mist, then the spirit of the wood takes you. Along with the mist, the spirit of the wood also gives like an infection, or like a fever is what they call it. And the king, he tries to capture everyone with the fever and take them to the dungeon. But Elspeth was a girl who had a fever, and her father was the captain of the Destriers, who are, I guess that's how you say it. The Destriers are the ones who go and find all the people with the fever. And her father was the captain. But instead of turning in his daughter, he sent her to family, to his wife's sister. And she lived there until this story. I think 11 years is what it was in the book. So she had the fever, and for everybody that gets the fever, they get a different magic, like their magic is unique to them. I forgot to mention that Elspeth's magic is that she absorbs the card, and when she's a kid, she absorbs the nightmare card. But it also comes with a degeneration, and normally ends up like taking their lives. So they're looking for a cure. There was a king who made a bunch of deals with the spirit of the wood in order to make some cards to harness her magic and use them for yourself. I think there's 12 cards, and each of the cards, like the first one, there's like 12 of them, and then like each one there's one less of the cards, so there's 12, 11. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was really cool. And each one does something unique, but it also has its own unique like detriment or like consequence. You know, you tap them, and you can use the magic that it says. You know, one is a chalice, and it'll make like a truth serum out of the wine. But and it'll force you to tell the truth, of course. But the consequence is that it can also make poison, or make you poisoned, whatever. So the magic system in this was really cool. And I feel like this first book, that was mainly all it was world building and describing and understanding the magic system. This one I think I gave it 3 stars, but I gave it like a 3.5 because the magic system was really cool. There is a romance in this, but it is kind of secondary, I would say, to the rest of the story. There's only one scene, and if I'm remembering correctly, it's not very smutty. So, overall, I liked it. I liked it a lot. And I would recommend it. Number 2, the second book I read was, of course, Two Twisted Crowns, the second book in this story, and the last. It is a duology. It's only 2. And This one I think is when she really hit her stride, because this one I enjoyed a whole lot. We don't get the original love story, the Elspeth and her love. I don't know if that's a spoiler. Is that a spoiler? Does it say it on the back? No. Okay, so I'm not gonna say it. I think this one was a whole lot better than the first one. It had a lot more of a plot, and it doesn't follow Elspeth and her love interest in that one. In the first one, it follows two others who are falling in love, and their love story is a lot better and a lot more fleshed out, and in my opinion, believable than Elspeth and her love. But I mean, I liked Elspeth and her love interest, because you still see them in the second book. But these two, does it say on the back? I don't want to spoil it, but there's a lot more plot, and yeah, this one was a lot of fun. I gave this one 4 stars, and I think that as a whole, I would give this duology 4 stars. I think a solid 4.5. It was really fun. The magic was cool, and this second one really made up for what was lacking in the first. And so I think overall it was a really good duology. I really enjoyed it. Alright, so sorry this looks different. This is a different... I missed this section, but now I'm recording it. So, alright, so the next book that I read was 1984 by George Orwell. And the new Audible reenactment came out, and so I listened to it while I read it. And it was terrifying, but I absolutely loved it. Merritt wants to say hi.
Hi, guys.
Alright, it is about Winston Smith, who is a member of the society. He's like a worker for the government. He goes into past records and alters them. And he is kind of feeling some disenfranchisement with Big Brother. And so he finds someone else who does, and they kind of start seeing each other, which is against the rules. And then they also meet another friend who they think is with them, and yeah, so I don't remember what I said in the last recording, but yeah, I loved it. And then the next book I read was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and I absolutely love this. Of course, I knew what happened because of all the modern references of it. I think my first reference was from Page Master with Macaulay Culkin. I loved that movie, and yeah, I absolutely loved it. Even though I knew the twist, it still was shocking. It's not told from his point of view, which I thought it was. It's told from his lawyer's point of view, and he's trying to figure out why Dr. Jekyll, who is this doctor, he grew up in a rich family, went to school, became a doctor, and has what seems like a good life. Why would he be friends with such an evil man? And yeah, it was beautiful. I loved it, and I love what it represented. Great book. 5 stars. Oh, I forgot to say, this is by Robert Louis Stevenson, and 5 out of 5. Same with 1984. 5 out of 5. Alright, so the next book that I read this month, because it came out and I received it in the mail, was the 6th volume of Lore Olympus. I forgot to mention that it is by Rachel Smythe. If you don't know what Lore Olympus is, it is a graphic novel or a comic. I don't know what you would call it, but I guess you'd call it a graphic novel. It is a graphic novel. It is Persephone and Hades, and it started out as a series on Webtoon, which I don't know if most people know what that is, but it was like one of those like Facebook ad things that they're like, oh, read this, and I seen it on Webtoon, and I actually read it all on Webtoon already. Not all of it, but because I think she's still releasing episodes. But yeah, I think it did so well on Webtoon that she started to compile them into volumes, and I've got all the rest of them because I loved it on Webtoon. That's like the only reason that I kept my Webtoon app was because of this story. That's literally the only story that I read on there. So yeah, when I saw she was making books, I said, I'll put that in my basket. I love Hades and Persephone. Now, if you're a trigger warning person, she puts trigger warnings in it. So I guess look into that. Yeah. And then the last book that I read this month was The Picture of Dorian Gray. Again, I forgot to mention the author. This is by Oscar Wilde. Come on, Morgan. Again, another 5 stars. This was another one that was just so good. And I loved it. I loved how he had 2 friends, which they're both mentioned here, so I can mention them. Basil, I said Basil because Austin Powers. Whoop-de-doo, Basil. Basil Hallward and Henry Wotton. And I loved how they were kind of like angel and a devil on his shoulder. Basil, of course, in it he says that he worshipped his beauty, and so he kind of planted, I guess, the seed of vanity. But Henry Wotton really provided the nihilism and the chaos and just the sin that he ended up committing. But Basil paints a picture of Dorian, and who's this 20-year-old attractive man, and he's claiming this is his best work. And even Henry is there, and he agrees with him. He's like, man, I gotta know this dude, because man, he is one fine looking dude. We can get some ladies. Even though Henry's married, he's like, we can really get some ladies with this guy. And Basil's like, no. But Henry really leads Dorian down a dangerous path. But while they are admiring Basil's handiwork of the picture, Dorian makes a comment of, wow, I wish I could look like that forever. And something happens where he stops aging, and the picture is what starts aging. He proposes to a girl. Is this on the back? I don't know. He proposes to a girl, and then she embarrasses him, and so he turns her down, or he ends the proposal, ends the engagement. And she breaks her heart, and she's begging him to stay with her, and he's like, no, I'm done. And so he gets home, and he notices a little change in his picture, and he thinks he's going crazy, but he sees it. He knows he sees it, and I absolutely loved it. And I do wish that it would have stayed hidden. I wish it would have been ambiguous of is the picture really changing, or is the sin changing his soul? And so when he looks at the picture, he sees that it's changing because he knows the sin on his soul. You know what I'm saying? Because at first, he wasn't showing anybody. He was just covering it up. And so nobody was making a comment about it changing or anything. And so it was kind of ambiguous in the first half, maybe 3/4 of, is it changing, or does he just know the sins that he's been committing, and he's putting that onto the picture? Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I kind of wish it would have did that, but overall, I still loved it. The ending and everything, it was awesome. One thing that I really loved about all of these classics is their kind of ties to Christianity. Of course, I know that back then, I can't say that more people were Christians, but at least I don't know, probably the majority of people were Christians. I don't know. I don't know the exact numbers or anything like that, but yeah, I mean, I think the majority of classical writers were Christians, or were at least brought up Christian, so they knew like the Christian ideals and things like that. And I love how all of them kind of ask the questions. Other than 1984. 1984 didn't really, I mean, it brought up some Christian themes, but at least Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Picture of Dorian Gray both really looked at sin and you know, the toll that sin takes on your body. And I don't know if this is a spoiler, so I'll put a warning or whatever on the screen. So if you don't like spoilers for classics that, I don't know, I feel like I don't mind spoilers for classics because it's like I should have read it by now. So whatever. But if you don't want a spoiler, then skip to the next part. But in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the lawyer asks Dr. Jekyll, why did you do this? Why did you continue to change into Mr. Hyde? And he said, you know, I had such a good life, and I was brought up rich and went to school and did everything right, and I wanted to do something bad. And so when I turned into Mr. Hyde, I did the bad thing, and I enjoyed it. And so I kept going into Mr. Hyde, and I kept doing it. And then one day I just woke up and I was Mr. Hyde. I didn't even have to take the serum or the vial, whatever. I didn't have to take it. I woke up as Mr. Hyde. And, you know, exploring that, you know, it only starts with one sin, and then, you know, it builds and builds and builds until, like, now, oh, I can't control this. It has a hold of me. And I thought that was beautiful. I thought it was beautiful, and really makes you think about the world and people, and, you know, how that happens every day. I mean, we see it with, you know, people doing all sorts of stuff. You know, they do it one time, and then it's becomes easier the next time, and easier the next time, easier the next time, until it's not even a big deal. And they just wake up and do it, and do, you know, wake up and sin. And it was very humbling, and it was just beautiful. I loved it. And of course, like I was talking about Dorian Gray, you know, the visual representation of his sin, and it driving him mad and driving him crazy, and, you know, him being so ashamed of it that he locks it away and will not show anybody. And I'm still in the spoiler section, so he locks it away, and the one time that he shows somebody, he kills them for seeing it. No one can see your soul. No one can see it but God. And God sees that ugliness, and He loves it. He loves it anyways. And through the blood of Christ, can wash it clean. He can turn your picture back into the young, beautiful picture that it was. I don't know. It really touched me. Both of them did, and their look on sin. There's a reason they're both 5 stars. I just loved it so much. I can't even. So overall, I had a great May. Every book was like a banger. I absolutely loved all of them. I don't think I had a bad read. I think the lowest one was One Dark Window, and that was still a 3.5. So May was fantastic. Great month to read. I'm riding on a high. I have taken the last week off because I took my boys to the library. I just did a video called The Library Tag, and it is, I'll link it in the top or in the description. But we finally went to the library and checked out some books, and I did check out a video game. I checked out Ghost of Tsushima, and I have started playing it. Since I was so close to the end of May, I didn't want to start another book and not finish it before June. So I was like, I'll play Ghost of Tsushima because I've been dying to play it, and it is so much fun. If you want to watch me play it, come over to my Twitch. I do play late at night. I play when everybody goes to bed. That's always when I read too. So yeah, I normally play it late at night. So if you're not up late, then you probably won't see me. But yeah, if you want to watch me on Twitch play Ghost of Tsushima, then come over to my Twitch. I hope that June is just as good as my May, and I'm so excited. Oh no. Okay. All right, so my June TBR. For the first part of June, the first half of June, I am going to kind of participate in June on the Range. Somebody in one of my comments on one of my videos mentioned something about June on the Range, and I'm sorry I can't remember who did, but thank you, because it is a reading challenge, readathon, whatever they're called, for Westerns. And I don't read very many Westerns, but of course I'm a nerdy cowgirl, so of course I'm gonna love Westerns. For the June on the Range, the video that I watched was from Michael K Vaughan, and he said there weren't any rules for it, but he recommended reading. I can't remember the authors, but I was like, I think for me, since I haven't read very many Westerns, I'll start with books that sound appealing to me, and then I'll try those authors. So maybe next June I will actually follow the recommended authors list. But when I went to the library, I found they had 2 of the books, and the third one wasn't on Libby. It was like a couple months wait for the one on Libby, but they did have one on Hoopla, so I think I'll read the third one on Hoopla, and I've never done that before, so that'll be something cool. Maybe that'll be another video of me trying out Hoopla for the first time. I don't know. If y'all want to see that, let me know. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that. But for me, I chose Wyoming Sunrise series by Mary. I think I don't know if it's Connolly or Conneely. But the first one is Forged in Love, and the second one is The Laws of Attraction, and then the third one is Marshalling Her Heart, which, like I said, is on Hoopla. So the first couple weeks of June, I plan to read this series and to participate in June on the Range. And then for the second half of June, I plan to join Toribetweenpages in her Romantasy Readathon. The Romantasy Readathon is June through July, and so I'm so excited for the Romantasy Readathon. I'm excited for the June on the Range too, but this one has been on my TBR for a long time, and I am in a group of romantasy group on Facebook, and everybody's always talking about this series. I loved this author's other series that I have read, but I do plan to reread that one after this one. And I don't know. I actually don't know much about it. I do see people talking about it a lot, and I get out of context spoilers, so I don't remember what they're talking about or what they say. So I'm so excited. Hold on, let me get him. Can you see? I'm gonna read the Throne of Glass series. I'm so excited. Is it wrong for me to be so excited about this? But yeah, for my Romantasy Readathon, I'm not gonna worry about like the prompts and stuff because I don't really understand. I need to watch more videos of readathons and hopefully like after this month of readathons I'll understand it better. But yeah, I was like, that's a good idea. I'll just read a big ass Romantasy series. It'll be fine. I'll finish it in time. Yeah. But like I said, I absolutely loved the ACOTAR series. And I feel like I have been searching for something like the ACOTAR series since I read it. And so I'm hoping that I like the Throne of Glass series as much as I did that one. It is 8 books. Woo! That's gonna be fun. It is 8 books, and hopefully I can get it done by the end of July, because the Romantasy Readathon ends in July. I do plan on making a vlog about it, so be watching out for that video. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm so excited to get to Throne of Glass. My sister-in-law has read it, and I think she read The Assassin's Blade first, but I think I'm going to read it the romantic order, which is third. Just because I'd like to do that and compare notes. You know, I asked her to come do a video with me, but she said no. I'm excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Y'all maybe understand because y'all are book people too, but I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Alright, so the last thing for this video is I'll tell you what videos to watch out for on my channel. I saw Merphy Napier books do this the other day, and so I liked it so much I was like, that's a good idea. The videos that I will be releasing for the month of June. So I've got one video that I'd like to try. I watched a movie that it was a book, and they turned it into a movie, and it was absolutely terrible. So I wanted to do a video that was similar to like one of those get ready with me while I tell you the story of this movie. I love those types of videos, and so I was wanting to do something similar like that, but I don't wear makeup very often, or I don't wear much makeup. And so I'm like, that will be kind of a boring video to watch me put on mascara and put on some lipstick and some eyeliner and just sit there and talk to the camera. I guess it's not very different from this. Anyways, so what my plan is, or what my idea is to call it Chores and Bores. I know some people like to watch slice of life videos, especially from farms. So my thoughts were maybe I could be doing my farm tours and telling you the synopsis of this movie. So be looking out for that video. And then I will do the second part of Bridgerton, or the final review of Bridgerton. And then, of course, my June on the Range. I'll probably do that one whenever I finish this series. That way I can go ahead and get that out of the way. Even though it won't be the end of June, I will go ahead and take care of that. And then the last video of June will be my mid-year wrap-up I'll talk about all the books that I've read so far this year. Alright, so that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed my May wrap-up and my June TBR. I hope you found some books that you'd like to read yourself, and are looking forward to the books that I'm going to read this June, and are looking forward to the videos to come. Feel free to like this video if you liked it. Comment any books if you agree with my takes on the books that I read. If you have any books that you think I might enjoy. If you just want to say hey, comment down below. I'll talk to you. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. God bless you. Happy trails. Bye. So today I'm doing my May wrap-up. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm getting self-conscious. Stop being self-conscious, Morgan. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. I need to quit sitting sideways because I'm like, but that's just comfy. That you'd like to read.